Hi, welcome to Stellar Yoga. I'm Estelle. Thank you for joining me on your mat today. Our practice today will just be a full body, well-rounded Vinyasa flow. We'll use all the different parts of our bodies, all different kinds of poses, different kinds of stretches. So if you're looking for just a good full body experience, this is a good class for you. We will perhaps need a block or a strap. If you like to use those props, I encourage you to get them. You may want a blanket to sit on or to support your knees at any point. So please gather any and all props that you'd like for your class today. And then you can meet me in child's pose, which is where we'll start today. So come on to your knees. Again, you can put a blanket underneath your knees. Bring your knees wide, your toes to touch. You can sit on a block or a blanket here. When you're ready, just stretch your arms out long. Let your forehead reach towards the mat. And take a deep breath. Start to notice the quality of your breath, the length of your breath. And start to make your breath intentional. Long, deep inhales and equally long, slow exhales. Notice how you feel coming to the mat today. Notice how your mental space feels, your emotional space, your physical body. And just take note of that without feeling the need to change anything. Bring the attention to your breath. And you can start to take ujjayi breath if you'd like here, constricting the back of your throat just so you can gently hear the inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, walk your hands off to the right. And just take one or two long, slow breaths here, beginning to awaken the side body. When you're ready, walk your hands back through center, coming off to the left. Opening up the other side body, taking a deep inhale and exhale here. When you're ready, walk back towards center and we'll come up into a tabletop position here. So again, you can have a blanket under your knees to make that more gentle on your knees. Find a long spine with your hands and shoulders aligned, your hips over your knees. Just take 3 rounds of cat-cow with your own breath, inhaling to lift your spine and your tailbone. Exhaling to round your back, tuck your chin, contract your core. Taking the full length of your inhale to open the front of your chest, the full length of your exhale to open the back of your heart. One more time on the rhythm of your own breath, opening your heart, the inhale, opening the back of your heart with the exhale, starting to bring a little heat to your core. We'll move from a neutral tabletop into spinal balance, reaching your right arm forward and your left arm back, keeping your pelvis in a neutral position, one long line from fingertips to heel. And exhale, bring your knee to your elbow, contract and extend. We'll just do 3 of these. Contract and extend. One more time, starting to bring some heat to your core, extending. And then if you like a stretch here, You can bend your left leg with a strap or your hand, reach around for the inside of that foot and kick it out to open up your chest a little bit. When you're ready, return to spinal balance and come back down into a tabletop position. I'll take the other side. So raise your left arm and your right leg, activating your toes, activating your fingers into one line of energy. And exhale, bring knee to nose or elbow and extend, contract, and extend. One more time, knee or nose to elbow and extend. And again, you can use a strap or your hand to reach around, take the inside of the right foot and kick it out to find an opening in your chest. Maybe looking up, maybe looking out in front of you. Then return to spinal balance and come back down into tabletop. From here, we'll just walk our hands back towards our heels, coming into a little ball, and then with bent knees, staying folded over, just come into ragdoll. You can let your hands hold your elbows. You can bounce a little, let your neck be nice and long and loose. You can try swinging it, yes or no. Just letting it be loose. Opening up your backs of your legs a little bit. Tractioning your spine. And when you're ready, let your hands go and slowly roll up. Vertebra by vertebra, letting your head be the last thing that comes up. And walk yourself to the front of your mat. Come into a comfortable standing position with your feet around hip distance apart, but whatever feels stable and solid to you in your body. On an inhale, rise up. And exhale, just slide your right hand down your right leg, coming off to a side moon. Inhaling back through center. And exhale, left hand down left side, side moon to the left. Inhaling back to center. And one time, cactus the arms. Inhale back through center. And then exhale, bring your hands beside your body. Find Tadasana. And then slowly roll down, coming into a gentle forward fold. Your hands can be on your knees, on a block, on the floor. And then plant your hands and slowly step back into our first downward facing dog of the day. Taking whatever movements feel good in your body right now as we're just starting to warm up. So heels can be as high off the floor as they need to be. Legs can be as bent as they need to be. Just have a straight spine, straight arms, and a loose neck. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up. Bring it through and in one or more steps between your hands. Rise up into crescent lunge. Inhale here. Exhale. Bring your left heel to the floor. Coming into warrior one. And then bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Lift up with your chest. And fold forward, coming to humble warrior with your right shoulder moving towards your right knee. Dropping your head here, pressing your palms together. And then inhale all the way up. Come down into a low lunge, both hands on the floor. And then either step back into downward facing dog, or you can come through a vinyasa, from plank to upward facing dog, and then into downward facing dog. Moving from plank to upward facing dog, you can of course always have your knees on the ground. Take a breath here, noticing how this feels. And then on your next inhale, lift your left leg up. In one or more steps, bring it between your hands. And rise up into crescent on the other side. Inhaling here. Exhale, turn that right foot out, let the heel come down. You can step in a little bit if you like. Bring your hands behind your back. Try to take the other clasp of the hands now, the reverse. Press your palms together, lift your heart up. Maybe take a peek at the sky. And then fold forward, bringing your left shoulder towards your left knee. Coming into humble warrior. Exhaling here, finding some release. And then inhale back into warrior one. Exhale to low lunge. Step back into downward facing dog or to plank. Again, from plank, you can take your knees down, lower all the way down. Rise up into upward facing dog or just into cobra. And then tuck your toes under and come back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up. In one or more steps, bring it through between your hands. Rise up into crescent lunge on an inhale. And then exhale, open out, coming into warrior two. Have your arms parallel to the earth. Your feet can be as far apart as is comfortable, as long as your knee is not rolling in. So you may want to orient your hips more towards your front hand if your knee is rolling in. Inhale here into reverse warrior. And then exhale, come over into side angle, bringing your right hand to your right knee and your left hand overhead. If you'd like to take a bind, you can always bring the left hand behind the back, hold on to your hip or shirt, or reach the right hand around the right thigh and take a hold of your hand. When you're ready, come up to star, and from here, we'll bring the weight into the left foot and come towards half moon rising, stepping onto the right foot. And for this variation, we're going to stay here without a block. So you might just stay here on the right foot with the left foot pointing and just experiment with lifting it up and tapping it down and see how that goes. If you want, you can start to go further, keeping a micro bend in your right leg so you're not locking at your knee. And when you're ready, rise back up, come through warrior two to reverse warrior. Windmill your arms down, coming into low lunge, plank, and then coming through upward facing dog or cobra, and then finding downward facing dog again. Take a breath here. Notice your heartbeat. Notice the quality of your breath right now. On your next inhale, bring your left foot out behind you, and then in one or more steps through to your front hands. Rise up into crescent, and exhale into warrior two. Bringing your arms parallel to the floor. Your back foot is facing in. Your front foot is facing forward. And your hips are facing as far forward as they need to for your knee not to be rolling in. So they don't need to be out to the side if it's going to roll your knee in. You can have them facing more forward. Inhale into reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into side angle on the left side. Left elbow to left knee and the right arm up ahead. Try reaching it over your head and try reaching it up, and just notice what happens in the rest of your body in those different positions. If you want to take a bind, you can bring the right hand down behind your back and reaching for the left hip. Or you can leave your right hand there, bring your left hand around your left thigh and take a hold of your fingers. When you're ready, come up through star. And then prepare yourself for half moon on the left side without a block. First, just bringing the weight into your left foot and experimenting with raising the right foot off the ground, keeping your shoulders and hips facing to the back wall, keeping a micro bend in your left knee. You might lift it parallel to the earth, you might not. Whatever happens today on this side is fine. Come back into warrior two, move through reverse warrior, windmill your arms down, coming into plank, and then everyone just lower all the way to the ground here. Take a moment here, you can rest your forehead on the ground. Notice how your heartbeat feels. Notice if you feel it against the earth. Notice the quality of breath, the sound it makes on your inhales and your exhales. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your elbows in, and we'll just take 3 rolling cobras. Rising up, pressing into the hands, keeping the elbows in on the inhale, and rolling down on the exhale. Using the full length of your inhale to rise all the way up, and the full length of your exhale to roll all the way down. One last time. Inhaling, pressing into the earth, and exhaling, slowly rolling down. From here, we'll take both hands out in front, and then bending your right leg and your right arm. You can use a strap around your right foot, or you can reach your hand to your right foot, to the outside of your right foot. And an inhale, just lift that arm and leg up, pressing your right foot into your right hand. Noticing how it feels in your shoulder, in your hip, in your core. One more inhale here. And exhale, let it go. And we'll take that on the other side. So using a strap or your hand, reach your left arm around to your left foot from the outside or looping the strap around it. Inhale and lift both up off the ground, your shoulder and your knee, kicking into your hand with your leg. Feeling that initiate an opening in your left side chest. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, let everything go. Let your forehead rest on the earth for a moment. Feel your heartbeat. Notice your breath. And then we'll zip our legs up together. Bring both hands behind our hips. Bend both legs. Again, you can loop a strap around both feet and take a hold of it, or you can take a hold of each foot with each hand. And on an inhale, Rise up here for 5 breaths. Notice how the breath moving through your body changes this pose from moment to moment. Notice perhaps if you feel your heartbeat, where in your body you feel that. Does it punctuate your breath? Take one more breath here. And let everything go. Press back into child's pose. Supporting with a block or a blanket between your legs if that feels good to you. Letting your arms stretch out long, letting your forehead rest on the mat. Again, notice your breath. Notice where your thoughts have gone. And see if you can bring your attention back to your breath. Notice if your body feels any different or similar to when we started class in this position. Notice what may have changed or may not have changed. Notice if you notice anything. Take one more deep inhale and exhale in this position. And then, when you're ready, come forward through tabletop into downward facing dog. One more time. And we'll take some standing postures from here. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. Bring it through between your hands. Rise up into crescent moon. And exhale, coming into airplane lunge with your arms alongside your body, your triceps squeezing together. And then from here, with control, bring the weight into your right foot. Come into full airplane pose, lifting your left foot up. You can bring your hands forward to warrior 3 if you like, or you can even keep them at heart center. And then slowly bring that left foot forward, coming to standing up, into standing staff with your left foot at a 90-degree angle or stretched out in front of you. Cross that left foot over your right knee and gently lower down, bending your right foot, your right knee, coming into standing pigeon. Feeling what changes in your hips, in your standing leg, in your crossed leg. And return to a straight leg on your right foot, not a locked straight leg. Keep a micro bend in that if you need. And then we'll take revolved hand to foot pose. So you can either put your right hand on your left knee and stretch your left arm out behind you, perhaps looking back. Or you can reach your right hand to the outside of your left foot and start to straighten that leg as straight as it goes today. Again, trying not to lock the knee and maybe practicing your balance looking back. When you're ready, come back to standing staff. Step back into airplane lunge. Fold forward into low lunge and take a vinyasa, coming through plank, chaturanga, or lowering all the way down, cobra or upward facing dog, and coming back into a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Notice the quality of your breath, the length of your breath. When you're ready, on the next inhale, lift your left leg up. Bring it forward between your hands. Rise up into a crescent lunge. And exhale, bringing your hands alongside your torso and tilting forward in airplane lunge. Squeezing your triceps. And then begin to intentionally bring weight into your left foot. Remove the weight from your back foot, and you can just experiment with lifting that up and down. If you want, you can experiment with lifting it up so it's parallel to the floor and that your hips stay level to the floor. And you can keep your arms in airplane lunge, in warrior three, or at heart center. And then with control, slowly come to stand on your left leg. Bring your arms up, and your right leg can be in standing staff at a 90-degree angle, or you can stretch it out in front of you. And cross that right ankle over the left knee, and slowly lower down, coming into standing pigeon, keeping your right toes flexed back to protect your knee and to keep your legs active. Notice the heat, perhaps, building in your standing leg. Notice any sensation you feel in your right leg, your right hip. And when you're ready, come out. Come to standing. And we'll take that revolved posture again. So bringing your knee to 45, bringing your left hand to your right knee, and reaching your right hand out behind you, perhaps looking back. Or taking that outside of your right foot with your left hand, straightening it to wherever it feels comfortable to straighten today. Remembering not to lock out your standing leg. Practicing with your balance, using where you choose to gaze or focus to help you or challenge you. And when you're ready, come back through standing staff. Take that right leg back, coming forward into airplane lunge. You can come up into crescent, and we'll come down into a plank. And from here, just step your feet forward to come into malasana, a wide yogi squat. I will turn to face you. Your feet can be a comfortable distance apart, a little wider than hips perhaps, or a lot wider than hips depending on your skeletal structure. And then your hips and your knees and your feet angled out to the side a little bit to whatever degree feels good in your body. And from here, we're going to take 10 hip lifts. So we'll raise our hips just to the level of where our hips would be if we're standing. And then we'll lower them back down. And we'll do this with our breath. So inhaling them up and exhaling and lowering. Inhale and exhale. Just do this at your own pace, with your own breath. And you can do as many as you like, just until you're ready to stop. We're just building some heat in our legs and our hip flexors, building some strength. And really focus on finding your breath. Focus on moving on the inhale and on the exhale. Flowing at your own rhythm, at your own pace. I'll take one more. I think that's 10 for me. Take a moment to notice what your muscles are doing, how you're feeling, the heat you've created through the movement of your breath. And then when you're ready, Let it go. Come down into a seat. Let your legs be long. Maybe shake them out a bit. You may want to take a butterfly just to let some tension in your hip flexors relax a little bit. And then we're going to come into boat pose. So if you need a little cushion under your sit bones or your tailbone, feel free to get a cushion or a folded up blanket to do that. So you can take boat pose like this with your knees bent, just reaching your hands out. You can lift your knees and bring them to a 90-degree angle, or you can straighten them and hold high boat. So come into whichever variation of boat you want to do today, and we're going to hold it for a minute. So during this minute, just try not to focus on time or sensation. Just notice your breath. Notice where it goes in, the sensations that you feel where it's going in. Notice the temperature of the exhale and the inhale. The duration. Notice if anything is punctuating that. And notice where your thoughts go at this moment. When you're feeling intensity, can you embrace that intensity? Can you embrace the present moment and not run from it? Can you just be with discomfort? Okay, that's a minute. Bring your hands together in arrow mudra with your index fingers pointed and the other fingers clasped. Bring your knees off to the left and just take a pause here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring your knees to the right and your hands to the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do that 2 more times on each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To the left, and maybe try to take 2 deep breaths here instead of focusing on the count. 1 more time to each side. And last time to the left. Okay, and rise back up. Maybe give your legs a squeeze. Wipe off any sweat. And from here, maybe take a butterfly. Flap your wings a little bit. And when you're ready, come on forward again. We'll come into downward facing dog just to take some stretches now. So find downward facing dog. Again, notice how your body feels this time at this point in class. Having warmed up extensively, having all of your muscles created some nice heat. Notice your breath, your heartbeat. Inhale, lift your right leg and bring it forward on an exhale outside your right hand. You can bring your knee down to the ground here and just find a nice straight spine looking forward. And then angle your foot out to the side a little bit. And you can bring your right hand to your right knee and just look out behind you, taking a bit of a twist as we open our knee. If it feels good, you can bend that back leg and get a bit of a quad stretch there at the same time. Again, be sure to put a blanket under your knee if it feels sensitive. Coming forward, just walk your right foot over to the left side of your mat to put your knee down on the floor and come into pigeon. Bring your hands behind your hips or beside your hips. Lift your heart. And then maybe fold forward, walking your hands to whatever point you feel you want to come to today on this side of your body. So you can bring forearms to the floor. You can walk your hands all the way out. You can stack your fists and rest your head. You can bring your forehead to the floor. Just take a few breaths wherever you want to be today. On an inhale, rise up. If you want, you can clasp your hands behind your back. Take a shoulder stretch to open your chest, or you can walk that foot in a little bit closer to your hip. Bend your left leg, and then use your left hand or a strap to take a hold of that left leg. If you want to come into mermaid, you can go ahead and take that foot into the crook of your elbow. Lift your right hand up, and maybe they meet each other. If you're in mermaid, gently come out of it. If you're in the chest expansion, gently come out of it. Tuck your left toes under, lift your right leg. Just give it a little bit of a shake. And come back into downward facing dog. And we'll take that on the left side. So inhale your left leg up. Exhale and bring it through to the outside of your left hand. And lower your right knee to the earth. Bring your spine nice and long. And then open that left foot to the side. And you can bring your left hand to your left knee. Take a bit of a twist here. If you want to take the quad stretch, you can bend your right leg. If you reach it, you can reach it and pull it forward. Always you can use a strap for this. And when you're ready, let that go. And walk your left foot across your mat towards your right hand, coming into a pigeon. So from this tall spine, you can stay here with a tall spine. You can slowly walk your hands forward to wherever feels good to you today. You can come down just onto your hands, to your forearms. You can stack your fists. You could rest your head on a block or a blanket. Just find wherever feels good for you today on this side of your body. Take notice of your breath. Take notice of where your thoughts have gone. How is your mind trying to entertain itself right now? And see if you can take a step back from those thoughts and just observe your mind entertaining itself without buying into everything that it's thinking. When you're ready, walk your hands up. You can take the shoulder expansion, bringing your hands together behind your back. You can walk that left foot in. You can bend your right foot, your right knee, using a strap or your hand. And if you want to take mermaid, bring it into the crook of your elbow. Reach your left arm up. And maybe they find each other. And let that go with control, whichever shoulder extension you've taken. And from here, we're going to come into an inversion. You can take any inversion that you like to practice. Shoulder stand, headstand, handstand, downward facing dog, legs up the wall. I will show dolphin today, but feel free to take whatever you like. Come onto your forearms, and you can have your hands flat out in front of you, parallel, or you can bring them together in a little basket. If you do that, keep your bottom pinky up off the ground so it doesn't get squashed. You can walk your knees in a little bit closer than tabletop distance. And then when you're ready, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, and walk your feet in as far as you can, lifting your sit bones up to the sky, trying to envision that beautiful curve that the dolphins make when they leap out of the water and dive back into it. Again, notice where your thoughts go. Notice your breath. And when you're ready, just bend your knees and come back down. If you'd like to take shoulder stand, please get a blanket. Place it at the back of your mat and slowly roll down onto your back so that your shoulders are on the blanket, but your head is not. Your head has lots of space in the cervical curve of your spine. That's the back of your neck, so that it's got some space to expand. Walk your feet towards your hips. Press your hands into the earth next to your hips. And bring your feet up over your head. You can stay at any amount of verticality. I'm going to walk your hands up your back to give you lots of support on your hips. This is a shoulder stand, not a neck stand. So you want the weight in your shoulders. Keep your legs stretching long, your toes active. If you want to take plow from here, just let your legs fall backwards and maybe see if they reach the floor. Again, keep the back of your neck really long, lots of space. Don't flatten that curve. When you're ready, bend your knees, bring your hands to the earth, and just slowly roll down. Again, using a bit of that core strength that we worked on in boat pose. Go ahead and remove the blanket. Tuck your hands right behind your hips, lower down to your elbows. And then let's take a neck stretch in the other direction, coming into fish pose. So let your shoulders support your head here. The front side of your neck open. After taking an inversion like headstand, you want to make sure, because that compresses your cervical spine, that you're opening very gently the spine in other directions. So that's why we always take a shoulder stand followed by fish after doing something like a headstand or anything that might compress your neck. It's also really good to just do this in these age of cell phones and computers, because so much of our life is spent folded forward. When you're ready to come out of fish, tuck your neck, tuck your chin to your chest, and slowly come up. From here, we'll take a couple twists before we go into Shavasana. So you can stretch your legs out in front of you and cross your right leg over your left, stamping it down to the earth. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand out beside you. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, twist. You can keep that left hand on your knee. You can hook the left elbow to the left knee. You can wrap your left arm around, And bring your right hand up to your shirt or your hip, or see if your fingers bind today. If they do, no big deal. If they don't, also no big deal. A lot of this has to do with your skeletal structure, not, in fact, your flexibility. When you're ready, unwind from that side, and we'll take it on the other side. So stretch your right leg out long, cross your left foot over, hug that knee in, bring your left foot out beside you, bring your right arm up. You can keep it on the left knee, you can hook it, and again you can try wrapping it around that leg, holding onto your right thigh. You can bring your left arm to your right hip, and you can see if they reach each other today or not. Just take a deep breath here. Exhale, give your muscles a little squeeze, your organs a little squeeze. Then inhale back through center. Keep that right foot, that right leg on the bottom. Bend it, bringing your right foot to your left hip and your left foot towards your right hip. You can walk them out a little bit. Whatever shape or height your legs are in today, it's completely fine. You just want to have your sit bones towards the earth, your feet towards the opposite hips, and your knees in a comfortable position, wherever they need to be for there not to be any pain. You can sit up straight here and just breathe into this position. Or if you like, you can fold forward to any amount, to any degree. Inhaling here and exhaling to let go of any tension. Gently press up from here, and we'll switch our legs out. So bring the left foot to the earth, towards your right hip, your right foot towards your left hip. And you don't want to be off to one side. You just, wherever your knees need to be, for your sit bones to be on the earth, even if that's out like this, that's totally fine. And you want to sort of just stack your knees wherever they stack with your sit bones on the ground. Inhale for a long spine here, and then breathe into your hip creases, breathe into those sticky spaces, and fold forward if that feels good. Inhaling into any of those creaky areas, tight areas, and exhaling, letting something go. Slowly press up. We'll take one more hip stretch here before coming into our backs. So just walk that left foot out and stack your legs so that they're both reasonably parallel to each other and parallel to the front of your mat. Again, that might look like this. That's totally fine. You just want to find your heels and your toes flexed so that protects your knees. And just notice where your body is today here, on this side and this arrangement of limbs. See if you can let go of any stories that you have about where your body needs to be. And just appreciate it for being where it is. When you're ready, you can come up if you're folded forward. And then we'll just swap our legs, so bring the right foot to the earth, the left foot towards the right knee towards the left foot. You can shift around your arrangement a little bit. Make sure your toes and ankles are flexed. Notice if there's a difference or similarity on this side to the other side. Pretty much no one is actually symmetrical, so it's very common for things to feel different in different sides and on different days, depending on what you've had going on in your life recently. Again, you can fold forward if that feels good here. And you can just stay sitting up. Breathing into any place that feels tight and exhaling anything you want to let go of. When you're ready, uncross your legs, plant your feet to the floor, and slowly roll down onto your back. Give your knees a hug in. You can just pull your knees with your hands. You can reach opposite wrist for opposite wrist, opposite hand, opposite wrist, opposite hand, opposite elbow. Just make your spine long and flat, pressing your lower back flat against the earth instead of making a curve. And then from here, you can take any version of a supine twist that you like. If you want, you can bring your legs straight and all the way to the side. You can bend them 90 degrees. You can keep them windshield washer, just falling to one side. Take any version of a twist that feels good to you. And your hands can be in any shape or form that feels good. You can turn your head to the right or to the left. Just find a shape that feels good in your body. And breathe into it. And inhale, come back through center. And find that shape on the other side. Bringing the knees off to the left, the feet off to the left, the head to the left or to the right. Finding a shape that feels good on this side and breathing into it. When you're ready, come back to center. Take any other pose or shape you'd like to before we move into Shavasana. You can take a hold of your feet with your hands and take happy baby. You can do a little butterfly here in Supta Baddha Konasana. And then eventually stretch your legs out long and wide as feels good to you. Stretch your hands out as wide as you like, the palms facing up. You can tuck your shoulder blades onto your back. Make any adjustments that you need to so you can be just 10% more comfortable. Maybe you'd like to take a blanket and cover yourself. That feels really nice. Put on socks if you need to. And then find a place of stillness. Maybe take a scan of your body to let go of tension anywhere that you might find. Starting with your toes and the bottoms of your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, and your glutes. your lower back, your upper back, your torso, your abdominals, your chest, your shoulders, the fronts and backs and sides of your shoulders, your upper arms, your lower arms, your wrists, each one of your fingers, one at a time. And then bring your attention to your neck. Let go of any tension you might feel there. Your head, around the back of your skull. Any tension or stress around the muscles around your eyes or in your cheeks or in your jaw. Try to let that tension just melt away into the floor, relaxing the space between your eyebrows and feeling the bones of the earth reach up through any structure that you're in and support you. Feeling heavy and sinking into the earth. And at the same time, feeling light as the entire planet reaches up to support you. Let your attention to your breath go here. Let everything relax and go. And know that in this moment, you're safe, you're loved, and the world is a much more beautiful place because you are in it. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for another 5 or 10 minutes if you have them. And to, when you do decide to reawaken, do so slowly and gently. I want to thank you so much for dedicating this time and offering yourself this time just for yourself today to connect your body and your breath, to bring your awareness to your thoughts, to get in touch with yourself. I hope as you go forward today, you can continue to notice your thoughts, sometimes taking a step back from them and observing them rather than just buying into everything that your mind is saying as it tries to entertain itself. And that you can offer yourself forgiveness, self-compassion, and non-judgment as you go through this challenging world we live in. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.